let's address the ginormous elephant in the room, the dribbling kick that went down the field and was absolutely telegraphed by our kicker. Even I knew 2 steps into his approach to the football that he was fixing onside it. And the guy that caught it 2 out of the corner of his eye and flipped right back around to make sure he got the ball. He knew it immediately. So it was horrible execution. I'll say that, number one. Horrible execution on the part of the kicker. But what the hell are you calling an onside kick for when your defense has been leaky? I mean, horribly leaky. Why would you do that? He said, just as we listened to, well, I don't think that clip was in there with your audio, but in his, he did say that was totally his call. Frost said it. And he said he thought it would be success. If it was successful, he could end the game with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. How do you end a game with an onside kick with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter? Do you think Pat Fitzgerald's going to run across the field and throw the white flag, say, screw it, I don't want to play anymore? You don't end a game with an onside kick with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. You just don't. I mean, even if you get it and you score again, the way they were carving our offense up, no, I wouldn't have been comfortable with a 21-point lead at that point in the game. So, especially with somebody like Fitzy, who's spent 17 years in this league and has won 49 games by 1 score. 49. How many has Frost won? 5? 4?
3.
Something like that, or 3? Yeah, let's just count them down. It's just, and somehow he thought, hey, if I get this, we're going to put this game away and it's going to be over. I mean, what in his 4 years of experience here gave him that indication? Makes no sense to me.
Let's look at it through. This is the thing I was thinking of. So, to give Frost credit, please bear with me here. His idea and Husker Nation's idea and any sports pundit about Nebraska's idea of Nebraska is that they need to find a way to assert their dominance, put their foot on the throat, and just win games. And I think that was Frost's way of attempting to do that. Like, he was attempting to be like, yep, we're going to put our foot on the throat and we are going to, put our foot on the gas, insert metaphor here about dominance and all this stuff.
No fear of failure, blah, 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 blah. Yep.
Like, I just see just such an out-of-touch mentality with specifically that decision. Because, one, you are playing Northwestern that, even though we had beat them 56-7 last year, that was truly an anomaly in our tussle with Northwestern. We got extremely lucky that we were able to get up on them as quickly as we did, and that's the only reason why we won the game. We forced them to play a style of football last year that they are not used to playing. Once we were up 21, 3 scores. Once we were 3 scores up on them, we forced them to use a different game style. And I think that was partially why Frost attempted to do that, because he really wanted to get up 3 scores on the guy.
Yeah, I get that.
But out of all of the ways that you could try and do that, you do it on special teams. Like, how out of touch are you? Like, we've had the most abysmal special teams performance that we've ever had in Nebraska history the last few years. And so you attempt to do it on special teams. And then you've got an offense that seemed to, up to that point, have at least somewhat of a rhythm. Yes, kind of going into the third quarter, Casey Thompson had a few little, hiccups, questionable things, but nothing too egregious. Right. And so instead of putting all your chips in on the fact that maybe we could go 75 yards down the field and get a touchdown and be up 3 scores on these guys, that the onside kick, like, what are you thinking? You are so out of touch, just completely out of touch with what you think is the right method to securing a game. And then, like you said, you have 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Do you honestly think that Northwestern is such a pushover that they're not going to look at 20-plus points left in the game and think, yeah, we're winning in the trenches, we're winning in the secondary, our quarterback is actually doing a really, really good job out from his first game?
Yep.
Like, you are so out of touch with not only the history of your head coaching career, but the current circumstances that you are given at the moment. Like, it just screams ignorance, just pure ignorance. And that's why at this exact moment, I don't want Scott Frost as our head coach, but that's another episode for a different day. And I want to still wait to see how these next 3 games play out. What are we going to do against North Dakota, getting off of an airplane and having only a few days to train up for that? How are we going to do against Georgia Southern at night under the lights? And especially, how are we going to do against OU? I'm going to wait for those 3 games to play out, and I will make my official judgment then. But as of right now, as rational as I can possibly be based on how irrational this game was to observe,
Yeah.
I don't like you, Frost. I don't like you.
I got it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So out of touch.
Yeah, absolutely. So that makes me wonder if he's actually literally trying to get himself fired by doing that. If it works, great. It's going to be awesome. We'll go down, we'll score. My career will go on, but this is the seminal moment in my career, and I'm calling an onside kick, and if it works, it means the gods of football have decided I get to stay at Nebraska. I don't know. This is just us being goofy and weird and not being your typical media podcast. So, we're doing our best to channel our inner Big Red Copcast, I suppose, is what we're doing.
With less F-bombs, of course.
With less F-bombs, way less, and no gummies anywhere in the vicinity.
Shout out, Tweety. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Accept my follow request on Twitter, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.